we're gonna let Bell do the Sounders segment as they had a scrimmage against Louisville City at Starfire. This one was a little complicated, Bell, because they did it behind closed doors, which tough. And they didn't really release details until later, um, which is like sick. We didn't even really know if we could come down to Starfire. Well, first of all, we didn't even know if it would be at Starfire or Lumen Field until like the day before, which was tough. And then after this match that we've got on the screen, they had one with the Tacoma Defiance players in Louisville City, and they didn't tell us what happened in that. So, uh, yeah.
Okay, I'm not surprised that when I got to this segment of our notes, then I was like, wait, did the Sounders just play? Yes, on the 18th versus Louisville City FC, they won 2-1. Our player of the game is Hebert. He had 1 goal scored. Yeah, I mean, I guess since you said it was kind of hidden and in the dark, we don't have too much to say about the game.
No, not too much. I know that both Sounders it's still me. Both Sounders goals came in the first half. Hebert had the first one. Christian Roldan got one right before the half ended on kind of a chaotic play. Louisville City got their goal, I think, halfway through the second half. And I think that one also came off of some chaos. So I don't know. It's been an interesting preseason for the Sounders. They had a shortened preseason before they headed to Spain, Marbella, Spain, practice against I believe it was a Hungary and a Spain team before they had the Club World Cup, which obviously was an historic event for the club and for MLS. And then they have some training, and then they have this preseason match with a lower division squad, and now they've got a little bit of time before they have their season opener against a conference opponent. So there's been a lot of discussion around this club, and part of it's because of the injury news. I like I said, there's not too much that I have for you about that scrimmage. Otherwise we talk about it more, but otherwise we're just going to go straight to this injury news because of, it continues the preseason talk and all the discussion around it. Raul Ruiz on the 18th did not participate in that scrimmage that we mentioned with the hamstring tightness. Head coach Brian Schmetzer called that move precautionary and suggests that Rule could be good to go for the match versus Colorado, which opens up the season for the Sounders. So there's a gentleman that there's a, well, not even just, I don't want to single him out because there's more than just him, but the reaction to finding out that he missed that, there was a thing that I saw that was like breaking. Raul's injured and he was all angry. He was like, oh, the coaching staff and the players, I'm angry at this. I'm like, then we find out that it was like a precautionary. Again, some people are like, oh, don't buy into what he's saying. Maybe he's just downplaying it. I'm like, we haven't even got to game one, you know? And even so, even if Raul misses this match against Colorado, right? Hebert has been pretty solid from what I saw in the preseason matches, including the scrimmage here, and there's been some pretty good excitement around him participating. The quote that really sat with me in the preseason was someone asked Brian Schmetzer, like, what can you really give us on what you've seen from Hebert? And he said, well, I think the best compliment I can give him is the fact that our coaching staff is trying to figure out how to get him on the field more, and that includes a potential formation change. And changing the way you structure things for one guy, again, I'm not saying like he's not going to be up at the top all alone. He's not the sole focus, but I think that's notable, right?
Yeah.
This was a guy that when the Sounders acquired him from New York City, that a lot of people were like, oh, he's not even that old. I apologize while I grabbed his age, but it's like, oh, he's old, and why didn't you grab a better striker? Why didn't you get a younger one? All this, he's 31, man. 31's not old. He's got a big head though. He's 31. Like, hey, I got a big head. And, so I just it's obviously there will be overreactions in every sport, right? With every team, but a lot of the times with the Sounders fan base, it's like Raul will sit out a game just for precaution. They're like, "Oh my God, Raul is dead. The players suck. The coaching staff is terrible." I'm like, dude, he's sitting out. He needs a break, man. It's just the overreactions can be such a big problem, and that's why we're here, right, Bel? We're not here to like buy into that or feed into that. This is reality, right? We're a lot of the times we're here for reality. Um, I'll bring this back up when we get to the Kraken segment because there's a comment that I have to reference in relation to my player of the week. But Schmetzer called it precautionary and suggests he could play against Colorado. We'll get more updates throughout the week. So obviously this is a great time for you to follow us on social media, as you can see scrolling on the bottom here. But again, I'm not if we get concerning reports throughout the week, then I'll be upset. But until I see that or until I have any indication to be upset, I won't be. Simple as that. So that's how I feel about that. Why don't we head over to League Notes and see? This is interesting. I want you to go over that, but then tell me which of those three you think would be a best fit for a franchise.
Yeah, so MLS commissioner says league wants to hit 30 teams by the end of 2023. Don Garber says that the MLS is in talks with Sacramento, Las Vegas, and San Diego about being the 30th franchise. Las Vegas remains a priority market, and San Diego is a gateway city to Mexico. With those two quotes, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards San Diego, but I also feel like California doesn't need any more teams. So
Yeah. So do you have a finalized pick?
I think I would go with San Diego.
Okay.
I don't know how big Sacramento is. I mean, I know they have the Kings, but I still don't feel like
Yeah.
not a big
So
sports city.
I'm glad that you picked that because that was my decision. You look Sacramento. Yeah. First of all, Cali, yes, already, yes. San Jose, obviously the LA teams. That's 3 teams already. I don't need to keep going. Las Vegas, I don't know. Like, I hear a lot of conflicting things about how they support the Raiders. They really the Aces seem to get a decent amount of support. Aces fans seem to be in our mentions a lot.
Aces have some front office stuff going on.
They've got some issue where they would play, right? Are they going to play where the Raiders play? Or they obviously with an expansion, I'm sure they'd figure something out. But just San Diego, I've always liked San Diego personally. They really did the Padres Stadium well. I really like Petco Park. San Diego Wave, new NWSL expansion club as of last